All right, how's it going, everybody? This is a follow-up to how much longer will you sacrifice your children for piles of stones? Um, which I did earlier and pointed out that whether it's Jerusalem or other places around the world, people, that's essentially what they're doing, is killing each other to fighting over a pile of stones. So whether you're Jewish or Palestinian or whatever, I think you have to ask yourself, if you look at the history of Jerusalem, you look at the history of the area, how many times different groups have ruled Jerusalem and stuff. So you go through all this stuff, killing and everything, to rule over that pile of stones. And 20 years from now, that might change. Somebody else will come in there and rule over it. So what are you gaining? What are you doing? God is everywhere in His creation. And if you believe the gospel, Jesus, peace be upon Him, said God does not dwell in temples made by human hands. Um, in temples of stone or however it was put. I'm sorry if I misquoted it. But so you have to wonder, and when in Islam did it become that? I know the Al-Aqsa Mosque is there, but even that is a pile of stones. Can it be moved over out of the way someplace and without the bloodshed and let the Jews have that piece of ground without killing each other? Is that possible? Does that make sense to anybody? Or does it make sense to the Jews? Hey, you don't need to rebuild the temple. Can you have two nations where Christian, Jew, and Muslim all live together in peace in each nation, and it doesn't matter what faith you are? It'd be kind of like here in America. You don't need all the bad things from the West, the immorality and stuff like that, but you can surely let three different faiths exist, and it doesn't matter if you're Jew or Palestinian, an Arab, or what you have, live within that state and obey the laws. Here in America, it doesn't matter what faith you are. If you go out and commit a crime, you're punished, and you got to have that kind of fairness. You can't have one set of rules for one group and another set of rules for another group. But I wanted to point this out here. I pointed it out before. This is a saying of Imam Ali. In order to understand, and do not ask in order to find fault, for surely the ignorant man who wants to learn resembles a man of knowledge, and surely a man of knowledge who wants to be difficult resembles an ignorant man who wants to find fault. Now, this, and for those of you who don't know, the top signifies the Prophet Muhammad naming Ali as his successor, which, if everything had gone, because I've said it before and I'll say it again, it's the same as in Christianity. Jesus didn't teach for people to do the things they've done in His name within Christianity, all the bloodshed and things like that. And the Prophet Muhammad did not teach people to do a lot of the bad things that have been done in the name of Islam and in the name of God, in the name of Allah. So, and his family kept moving away from the violent and kept. It was about religion. It wasn't about building a kingdom and possessing lands and all this type of stuff. The Prophet Muhammad never looked to build an empire, and he told the people that he preached to, he didn't want anything from them. He was just delivering the message from God, and that was it, and establishing the religion. That he didn't want to be taking anything from anybody. So, and that's the same thing Jesus did, and all the prophets did. They didn't look to be kings and rule over people and take authority away from people and this and that and everything, unless maybe it was a corrupt person or something. But so this, as much as I still believe that saying and believe that's true and stuff, I'm gonna take down because, like I said, now I'm all about the new revelation, which has been sent down, which Baha'u'llah has written, and the writings of the Bab. And so all things of the past, you have to put away at some time and move on with what's new. And I'm not saying I don't believe this anymore, because it's true and it did happen, and I think that's a very wise saying from Imam Ali that you could apply when investigating the truth and you're seeking knowledge and the true path. If you start looking at the writings of Baha'u'llah, and that's something to keep in mind there. What are you asking God for guidance? Are you looking to find fault? Or are you looking to learn and progress? So I wanted to just give a follow-up on that. And Jews and Palestinians and people all around the world are going to have to find ways to look at what they're really doing. What are you killing each other over? Is it so you can boast to God, hey, we killed more of them over this pile of stones than they killed of us, that means we're your favorite? Is that it? Is that how it goes? Is that what your boast is going to be? We must be right because we killed more of them over this pile of stones than they killed of us. We rule this pile of stones. How long are you going to rule it for? Look at the Crusaders and everything and all the, you can practice your faith, whatever your faith is, anywhere in the world, pretty much. Some countries you can't, but a lot of places you can. And if you're Palestinian or any Muslim anywhere, I've said this before, are you gonna be a slave to the, or even Christians here in this country, are you gonna be slave to your religious leader, whether they're in the pulpit or in the minbar? Are you going to be slave to a pile of stones? Or a piece of dirt? Or a flag? What are you a slave to? Are you going to be slave to whatever they tell you to be a slave to? What other theology and doctrine they tell you to be a slave to? You need to look at it that way. Step back from it. Are you going to let these groups like Hezbollah take your children and use them for cannon fodder while they hide in bunkers like Hitler did? I've said it before, I'll say it again, whether it's preachers here in America or clerics over there in the Middle East or whatever, they start talking about you have to go and kill, you have to do this and that and everything like that. Tell them, you know what? You go first. I'm taking my kids and we're going to get ice cream. And see what they do. They want to go kill people, tell them to go. Whether it's political leaders or, religious leaders, tell them you go first. Or just leave their mosques or whatever and leave them standing there talking to themselves. Leave their churches here in America. If they're all about being militant and only they're right and it's okay to kill other people around the world in the name of your faith or your flag for no reason and stuff. Sure, if there's a Hitler like that or something, the nations have to stand up to things like that. There would be justifiable reasons for violence. I'm saying, but you got to take a bigger look at what's going on. So, leave them talking to themselves. Go to another church. Go to another mosque. Go anywhere. Wouldn't you rather, if you're Palestinian, instead of having thinking about the next generations of your children fighting and dying over a pile of stones in Jerusalem or anywhere else and everything, wouldn't it be better to live somewhere else? Let them go to school, become the engineers, become the scientists, become the doctors, become the people of the future that can help mankind. Wouldn't that be a better thing to do? They can become the astronauts, they become whatever. The same if you're Jewish. You're going to let the state of Israel take your children for generations and generations? So, a lot of Jews won't go to Israel to live. They live other places in the world. How much longer is mankind going to, whether Jewish, Palestinian, whoever they are, Hindus, Are you going to fight to rule over mounds of stone, patches of dirt? Move away from it all. Give your children a future. Let them give the world a future. Let them get educated. Let them move on. Let them be all that they can be. you can still practice your religion anywhere and pray to God anywhere. So I just wanted to do a follow-up on that, and I got to call the maintenance people and get the air conditioner people here, because this thing is not cooling off in here at all. All right, so I wanted to point that out, and good luck to y'all. God bless you. Keep searching for the truth. Keep having faith in God that his cause, his will be done, and humanity will be united someday and move forward and put our energies into the right things and not in killing each other over piles of stone. All right, God bless.